Okay, so long Chumash, so we got to roll. Okay, let's start today. Good morning, everybody. As we start the chitas of the day, today is Thursday, which is the fifth reading in the portion of Vayishlach. Vateitze Dina, and Dina went out. Bas Leah, the daughter of Leah, Ashiel de Yaakov, which was born to Yaakov, Lidas b'nei Sa'aretz, to see in the daughters of the land. So that says Bas Leah, it doesn't say a Bas Yaakov. However, because she was going out, she was called the daughter of Leah. Since Leah too was the habit of going out, as it says, and Leah came forth towards him. So, like mother, like daughter. Shechem, the son of Chamer, saw Chivi, Nesiah, the king of the land, and he took her, and he violated with her, and he violated her. The natural way, he heard her in all ways. But his soul was cleaved. Bedina Basakir, he fell in love with her. He loved this girl. And he spoke to the heart of the girl. He tried to appease her after he abused her. Al-Neda died, that says, seducing words. Look how much money your father squanders for a small parcel of land. I will marry you and you'll acquire the city and you'll get the whole Shechem. Said Shechem turned to his father, Chamer, and he told him, take me this daughter, take me this girl. Yaakov heard about the defilement of his daughter, Dina. But his sons were in the field. And Yaakov kept it silent until they came home. Meanwhile, and Chamer, the father of Shechem, went out to Yaakov to speak to him. And the sons of Yaakov came from the field. When he heard, and the men were grieved, and they were angered. A terrible aspect happened in the Jewish people. Lishkav bas Yaakov, that to lie with the daughter of Yaakov. Such a thing shall not be done. To violate a girl who is not married. Even the nations of the world refrained from this, and they were shocked that this would happen to them, and he shouldn't have done this. Chamer was in love. The father spoke to them. My son is in love with your daughter. Give her as a wife. So he has a desire for her. Verse number 9 is and we'll intermarry with you. You shall give us your daughters, and our daughters will take for yourselves. We turn to Teshev, and you'll live with us. We'll live together like one happy family. This land will be for you. Do business there and settle there, and let us live like a one happy family. And Shechem said to her father, and her brothers, may I find favor in your eyes? Whatever you tell me, I will give you. Impose upon me large marriage settlements. I'll give you whatever you want, and I'll give it to you. My son is in love with Nulias. Give me this girl as a wife. Verse 13, thereupon the sons of Yaakov answered Shechem with Mirma, with wisdom. And they spoke how they defiled his sister, their sister. So here they were honest with him, in essence. They told him, listen, you all these wonderful things. You're not talking about the problem that happened over here. The young man fell in love with her is one thing. But that he used her, abused her, you're not talking about that situation. That's what Rashi said, because they defiled. Scripture states that it was not trickery. But because they defiled the sister did it, said, what about that? Seems like it doesn't bother you that your son goes and rapes girls. So they said, my friend, you know what? We cannot do this thing. We have one problem. We can't do this thing because your sons are not circumcised. To us, it's a disgrace that you're not circumcised. So this is a defect, Rashi says. If someone wishes to insult another person, he says, you are uncircumcised, or you're son of an uncircumcised person. So this is an insult. Ach, we don't need your money. This is, however, will you consent? You want to be part of our family? Then you need to all circumcise. Tell the people of the city they should all circumcise. Verse 16. When they say we'll give you our daughters. But when they say and we'll take your daughters. We'll live with you. We'll be one nation because we'll be circumcised. So Rashi says you find in the stipulation that Chamer suggested to Jacob, and on the reply that Jacob's son to Chamer, that they, Chamer and Shechem, attached importance to Jacob's sons, allowing them to take whatever of the daughters of Shechem they would choose for themselves. And their daughters, they would give to them, the people of Shechem. And as the son of Jacob wishes, it is written, they'll give you our daughters as you wish. You'll take our daughters for ourselves, however we wish. But when Chamer and his son of Shechem spoke to the townspeople, they reversed the matter, you'll see. And it says in verse 21, we will take their daughters for ourselves as wives, and our daughters we will give to them, in order to appease the townsmen that they will consent with circumcision. And therefore, it mentions when they talk to the townspeople, it talks about the daughters of Jacob. It doesn't talk about their daughters first, it talks about the daughters of Jacob. So they flipped it around. Verse 17, if you're not going to listen to us, if you're not going to listen to us, we'll take our sister and we'll go. Our daughter will go. So Chamer said, this is wonderful. Beautiful idea. They were so excited. The young man did not delay. He went right away and he circumcised himself. He had his desire. And he was honored in his father's household. But they had to give it to everybody else. Verse 20, and his son Shechem came to the gate of their city. They spoke to the city, saying, these people are all peaceful with us. And they want to live in the land. They want to do business. And this land, behold, it's spacious enough for them. Will take their daughters. For women. And we'll give them our daughters. We'll become family. Shleimim, with peace and sincerity. These are wonderful people, good businessmen, wonderful people. The land beholds the space of the metaphor is that a person whose hand is wide and generous. That is to say, you will not lose anything if you trade with them. Plenty of merchandise come here, and there's no one to purchase it. Here you have a whole new people that like to buy and sell. We got one problem. Verse 22, there's only one problem, one condition. We all need to circumcise ourselves. And they're circumcised. Verse 23, then shall they not their cattle, their property, and all their beasts be ours. So let us consent with them, and they'll live with us. So that says regarding this matter. And thereby they will live also circumcised. So the whole city listened to them. All those people that were at the gate of the city. and they all circumcised themselves. Well, verse 25. Was on the third day, basically came on the third day when they're all in pain. And the two sons of Yaakov took Shimon and Levi, Ache Dina, the sister of Dina, Ishas Chaybe. They went with their swords, and they came into the city in confidence. And they killed every male. Who the sons are, but none of you. These are sons, but nevertheless, Shimon and Levi conduct themselves like other people who were not his sons. For they did not console. They didn't go ask Yaakov Avinu to do any counsel with their father. They didn't ask his father to do this. Achadina. So that says ultimately they listed the lives to save this girl. This girl was a captive in the house of Chamer. So they went and they did this. Betach. Now she says, Betach she'ke'evim, because the townsmen were painful. They knew that they were sure that they had the capability of doing this. So they were sure. They were the Medrash says they were batuah, they were confident because they had a great father. As Chamer v'Shchem they killed Chamer and the son of Shchem, the Vicharav by the sword. Vayichas Dina mibeis Shchem vayitzei. They took Dina from Shchem and they went out. Yaakov bo ala chalolim. Jacob's sons came upon the slain. They defiled, they plundered the city. So they stripped the slain. They took all the cattle, the donkeys, and whatever was in the city. Whatever's in the city, whatever's in the field, they took. It's called Chelam, and they took all their wells. It's called Tapim, all their infants with the shame Shavu. They captured. They avoided as Kol Shabbayis, and all that was in the house. So that's their wealth, Chelam, their money. Israeli mass wealth. Shavu Loshen Shviya, term of denoting captivity. When Yaakov met Shimon and Levi, he said, you have troubled me, to discredit me and the inhabitants of the land. The Canaani, Prizi, and the people that live here, the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I am but a small group. These nations will gather together, Vikani, and they will come out to war with you, and they'll destroy my household. So that's just an expression denoting murky waters, meaning now my mind is not clear. But in the Agada, the battle was clear, but you have made it murky. I saw the way clear to exist in the Canaanites, but now you have spoiled the possibility to do so. The Canaanites have a tradition that they will fall into the hands of Jacob's sons, but they said that this would not only happen until they are fruitful and inherit the land. Therefore, they have been silent. But now they'll say, we're going to have to go out to war with them. So they answered, verse 31, shall he make our sister like a harlot? Chazayna Rashi is abandoned a hefker. As a chasena, Yosef chasena, our sister. Chapter 35, verse number. Yaakov, so God said to Jacob, Kum alei al Beisel, get up, go to Bethel, Yeshav Sham, and return there. V'asei Sham Mizbeach le'el, and make an altar to God. Anil Alecha, which has appeared to you. V'varcha b'nei Esav achicha, when you ran away from Esav, your brother. So that's the scene. You're tired in the way you were punished. Seems like you're taking too much time. And if you would have thus came back straight home, you wouldn't have gone through these troubles. These troubles with your daughter had befallen you. Get up, you came to get home, and now you're already 2 years on this journey home. Why is it taking you so long to get home? Yaakov said to his family, and and all that was with him. Remove your deities, remove the deities of foreign gods, foreign nations, which in your mess, you missed, right? They ransacked Shechem with all the deities. Purify yourself and change your clothes. So these are the possession of spoils of Shechem. Hitaru, purify yourself from idolatry. Perhaps you have clothes of idols on your possession, get rid of it. We're going to get up and rise to go to Bethel. I'll make there an altar to God who answers me in my day of distress. And he's always with me in the way that I went. Verse number 4. So they gave to Jacob all the foreign gods, Hashem b'yadam, which was all these idols. From the Muslim, Hashem his name, they took even the earrings of their ears. Yaakov hid it under the tree that was in Shechem. Ela is a tree, a species of trees that bear no fruit. That was near Shechem. Verse number 5. Vayisu, and they traveled. Vayichi chitas elikim alahorim. And there was the fear of God on the mountains. Ashes v'seim that was around them. V'leirotfa Yaakov, and they did not go after Yaakov. The Rebbe would always say this pasuk, chitas, ches, tef, taf. Vayihi chitas. That's the chitas. Chumash, Tilim, and Tanya. If you want God's protection, and that they won't run after you, you should learn chitas, ches, taf, taf. Verse number 6. Yaakov Luza, and Yaakov came to Luz. That was the place he started off with the story of the dream. Hashabez Canaan was in the clan, he Beisel, which is Bethel. Chola Sha'am Imay, and all the people that were with him. So he came back to Luz 22 years later. Even Shamizbeach, and he built over there an altar. Vayikrab Lamakim Beis El. He called the place El Bethel. Kisham Nigalav Alakim, because over there God revealed himself to him when he ran away from his brother. So that says the Holy One, blessed be he, is in Bethel. Manifestation of his presence is in Bethel. Nigal Alakim, now next Rashi, the plural form in many places, and the noun referring to godliness or mastership appears in plural form. Alakim, plural. Verse number 8, Vatomas Dveda Mineka Zivka, and Dveda, Rebecca's nurse, died. At the cover Betachas LaBeisel, and she was buried beneath Bethel. Tachas Ha'olon, on the beneath the plain. Ayikar Shmei Alun Bachos, and he called it Alon Bachot. So that's just, what is the connection of Dveda, the maid of Rivka, have to do with Jacob's household? What does that do? What does Jacob do with Dveda? Dveda was the nurse that Lavan gave to his, that Besua Lavan gave to his daughter when they went to marry Isaac. What does that do over here? What happened was, since Rebecca said to Jacob, "I'll send and take you from there," it was Dveda whom she sent to him. So Dveda came to Yaakov, tell him it's time to come home, and Padaram to instruct him to leave from there. And she died in the way. So that's why this Dveda was with Yaakov at that time. I learned this from the words of Ramesh Adash. Bethel, the city, was situated on a mountain, and she was better at the foot of the mountain. Beneath the plains, Uncle was rendered at the bottom of the plains. For there were plains above, on the incline of the mountain. The grave was below. And the plains of Bethel is called Aloin. And Agadah tells us he was informed there another morning, where he was told that his mother, who died, so he's told that Aloin is a Greek mean for another. So that's what it says, Tachas Alein Bacha, he called it Alein Bachas, because he said he was informed that not only that her maid died, but Rivka, his mother, died. For the following reason, the day that her death was concealed, so that people should not curse the womb, hence of where Esav comes from. Therefore, neither the scriptures tell us when Rivka died. It tells us Sarah, it tells us Rachel, but it doesn't tell us anything about Rivka, because Torah wanted not to mention Rivka. People shouldn't. Esav was a terrible guy, and everybody would talk about, oh, look at his poor mother had such a terrible guy. And the God appeared to Jacob as he came from Padan Aram. And he blessed him. So this is the second time in this place. Once when he went away, and once when he returned. He blessed him. What did he mean? Blessed him. This is the blessing. And he blessed him with the blessings of a mourner. Because Yaakov now became a mourner. He heard his mother died. Your name is Yaakov, but your name shall not be longer called Yaakov. Kim Yisrael, but your name will be Yisrael. Yikir Shema Yisrael, and he called it by the name of Israel. So that's just your name. Yaakov is expression of man who comes with sleep, stealth, gully. But Yisrael, termed the native prince, and now you have become a prince. Verse 11, and the mighty God be fruitful and multiply. A multitude of nations shall come into existence from you. And kings shall come from your loins. So that says, I am God, your God Shaddai, for I am the power to blessing, because the blessing is mine. Shakai, Shin Dal Yud is mine. Shaddai. God bestowed this blessing upon Jacob because Benjamin was not yet born. Although Rachel had already been pregnant with him, so he said, you're going to have multitude. Goy, you're going to have a nation, which is Benjamin. Goyim, you're going to have nations. Over here, he told them that you're going to have Menashe Ephraim. You're going to add one day another 2 tribes to this group of wonderful tribes. And that's Menashe Ephraim, who were destined to emanate from Joseph, and were counted a number of tribes. So you're going to have another child, and then you're going to have 2 other children. Umalachim, and you're going to have kings. Who are the kings? Shaul, Ishbosheth, who from the tribe of Benjamin, who were not yet born. Avner interprets this verse in the sense when he crowned Ishbosheth, the tribes too interpreted the verse, and he became friendly again with Benjamin. As written, no man shall give his daughter to Benjamin. There was a time in history that the Jews separated themselves, the whole story, that the Jews separated themselves from the tribe of Benjamin. And they were told not to marry even the tribe of Benjamin. They put them into excommunication, the whole tribe. So this was a story, a terrible story that happened in you can look it up in Tanakh. So this is a time where Benjamin was not counted amongst the tribes. And the Holy One, blessed be, said, would not have said, Jacob, the king shall come forth from your loins. So therefore, ultimately, it was rescinded, that situation. Over here, Yaakov Avinu was prophesied, it was in that story. The nation of multiple nations, this means that his children are destined to be like 4 nations. According to the number of the nations, who were 70 nations. So that's why you'll have 70 children. Jacob and his household migrated to Egypt, they numbered 70. And it said that they were 70. So here God told him, you're going to be like the nations of the world. So it'll be the Jewish nation and corresponding to all the nations. This means, another interpretation, this means that the sons are destined to offer up sacrifice at the time there'll be a time with the Jewish people be like the nations. They'll bring sacrifices on the bumas, on these high places, And like the nations of the world, they'll bring sacrifices. So there was a time in history that Jewish people didn't bring the sacrifice to the temple, but they used to bring it on the private sacrificial altars in the backyard. That completes the Chumash of the day. And we now go to the Tanya of the day. And the Alter Rebbe, we are holding in the essay, we begin essay number 6. David's midas karesilu. David, you call them songs. So this is a statement because he referred to the laws of the Torah as songs. He said that the laws of the Torah, Nims midas Yisrael, that he called it songs, he called the Torah songs. God was angry that he called it songs. What do you mean? These are the laws of the Torah, not songs. They was punished by being made to stumble in a manner even as school children know that the ark is carried on the shoulder. And he made a mistake, and they told somebody to grab the ark as it was falling, and the guy died. And which is a mistake. He didn't realize that you're not allowed to touch the ark. The ark is not carried by anybody, even the Kehanim, it hovered above them. So God says you're calling it a song. This is not no song. Zohar, so the Rebbe says we know in the Zohar it says we find expression Shifcha the Torah, but no, the praise of the Torah is its song. So what do you mean? So here God, the Gemara says God was angry with David HaMelech. He called it a song. When you find it in the Zohar that he calls it a song, the Torah is a hymn and a song to God. So let us understand what is the praise to God when a particular object is forbidden or permitted. A similar concept is the verse says, "How great are your works, O God! Your thoughts are very deep." Why does the verse make the deep precede the thought? How deep your thoughts are. What's deep mean? The Alter Rebbe will soon explain that from an appreciation of God's great work, one begins to understand the depth of his thought. So the Alter Rebbe says, it's well known that all the worlds, all the exalted worlds, the Tartainim and the lowly worlds, are all on the performance of a single mitzvah. They all exist for one mitzvah. The Rachmashal, for example, in Karbon Kasha, if the altar is offered valid, the sacrifice is offered is valid, Nasi Yichad becomes a supernal union. Then all the worlds go up to receive the spiritual sustenance. Vim Shina. However, if it's not correct, Shekibal Adam b'derech HaMashal, the smell of derech Mashal, for example, the Kohen does receive the blood instead of his right hand, he received it in his left hand. Or he didn't receive it in a valid vessel. Or there was a separation between the vessel and his hand. He was wearing a glove. As thine is battle, what happens is not that he made a mistake. All the elevation of the worlds that would have been accomplished are nullified. As their life force and sustenance as they have been received from the source of life and Ein Sof Baruch Hu. And so through a use of a valid tefillin. There's a revealed the supernal intellect of Zeir Anpin of Nukva, means Zah and Malchus of Atzilus, the source of life of all worlds. And if you're not wearing kosher tefillin, then it doesn't happen. And through one omission, one required detail, that if you have one little thing broken, the letter is broken in a tefillin, or whatever it might be, then it doesn't happen. Then they are invalidated and the intellectual parts. And this applies not only to positive commandments, this applies to negative commandments. A single detail affects all the worlds. You understand that? So let us therefore ponder how great are the works of God in the multiplicity of worlds and all their hosts. All the worlds and all their hosts. This whole world is all bottled to a detailed Jewish law. They're all literally nothing. They're all nothing to a diktuk, not the mitzvah, to a specification required in the Torah, how the mitzvah needs to be done. So everything in the world is all there and has its existence and receives its vitality, all because this mitzvah is done correctly. Now that is very deep. This is profundity and of the supreme thought and divine wisdom. That is extremely, very deep, and extremely in the depth of God's intellect. That through the observance of one minor specification, the whole world ascend and receive their life force and spiritual sustenance. An analogy was once given: you can take this big, humongous machine, and if missing one little screw, the whole machine doesn't work. Why do you care? Why does it have to? Why the whole this little screw is missing, or it's not tight? The whole machine doesn't. That one little screw, $1 billion machine, one little screw is going to stop the whole process. Why do you make a big deal of that little screw that cost $1 or maybe even less? That one little diktuk of Torah is that one little screw that holds everything together. In the case of a detailed requirements or permission commandment, the aggressor brings about God's descent in all the worlds. Then is beinan Godos emek machshavte. From this we may ponder the depth, the great and the depths of the thought of God. Which is boundless and endless. When something is boundless and endless, there's no difference between a big thing and a small thing. So you might say, why is God so that it's done exactly? Every word needs to be complete, and everything needs to be exact. Because by the Eibush, no thing as a big thing and a small thing. So by me, I say, yeah, what do I care? What do you care? That every dot needs to be checked off, and everything needs to be to the point. Because the Eibush ain't safe, and that the whole world and all its existence stands on doing it correctly. For the entire verifying power issued from a minor requirement of God's thought. Because that requirement came from the Eibishter, didn't come from a regular person. It came from God. And God is infinite, and that's not a minor thing. Analogy to a man here, which is comes from his brain. As brought on Tikunim in Udadaba. This was the light. So David HaMelech was punished, but he still called it a song. Because he said, wow, how wondrous are the Torah, because it's not just the mitzvah that I'm doing, because of this, the whole world is here. May he rest in peace. As he sang to gladden his heart in Torah study during his time of anguish. He was overjoyed when he contemplated how the entire world is of no account relative to one minor specific detail of the Torah. The whole world is nothing, not to a mitzvah, but to the minor detail of a mitzvah. How beautiful that is, he felt. How beautiful. It's a beautiful world, but it's nothing to the minor detail of Jewish law in every mitzvah. And that's why he called it a song. And God said, I don't know why you're calling it a song. The Zohar ultimately calls it a song too, because it is when a Jew realized the beauty of Torah, and the beauty of mitzvahs, and the beauty of every detail of every mitzvah, he realized that this detail is the reason why we have all this beauty in this world, because of the detail of this mitzvah. That completes the Tanya of the day. We're holding the 14th day of the month, Yudalit Kislev, the 14th day of Kislev. And the Tillim of the day, Chitas, to learn Chitas, Ches, Tav. We did the Chumash, we did the Tanya, and now you sort through the last Tav in that word Chitas. Chapter 72, 73, 74, 75. So 72, 73, 74, and 75. And you'll have Chitas Elakim, you'll have the fear of God upon you and upon anything that's happening in the world, that they will not affect you. You'll be protected from all sides by God's protection. So go learn Chitas, finish a Tillim. In Richem today at 10 a.m. We're going to have a class in the Rebbe is teaching in the portion of the week, either right over here on Torah Direct or on Zoom or God itself. And also in Mitch Hashem tonight at 7:30, we continue the third class in outsmarting anti-Semitism. So I hope to see you there both times. Have a wonderful, beautiful, happy, and healthy day.